Lovely. And again, thank you very much for joining me. Another weekly training session at the Kernow Club. I'm going to be sharing my screen in just a moment. So, bear with me. So, here we go. Lovely stuff. And I can see you. I can't see you, but you hopefully still can see me. So, let me move on. So, lovely. So today, Monday, the 18th of December, 2023, what we're learning today, we are going to learn how to email your database effectively and consistently, and then we're going to talk about how we can take action as well. So we're actually going to, if you want to, we can run through that. So first of all, what is email marketing? Email marketing is the act of sending compelling content to a group of people via email. You probably have received your own emails from other businesses where you've signed up for free offers, or perhaps you've looked to download 10 helpful tips on A, B, or C. But it's effectively, these companies are emailing you because they believe, and you'll be emailing people because you believe there is legitimate interest in the product or services that you're offering. And that is a key thing that I want you to remember: legitimate interest. But we will touch upon that a little bit later. So yes, this can be in the form of a monthly or weekly newsletter, or it can be via automated steps. I want to touch upon this really, really quickly. So a form of a monthly or weekly newsletter would be, to give you an example, if you're sending out an email wishing your database, potential customers and customers, a Merry Christmas. Ours is going out this week. We're sending out an email this week from Kernow Media. This could be something that's just set up, and you could schedule it out sometimes 3 months in advance. So you could have today's going out. You could then have January's email going out. You could then have February's email going out. Alternatively, you could send one out weekly or fortnightly. I haven't put that in there, but it could be weekly, fortnightly, monthly. Really, just letting people know that you're still here, keeping you and your business top of their minds, front of mind, I should say. And again, it can be just letting people know about what you've been up to, if you wanted to. But again, obviously there needs to be value there. But again, there's usually a call to action within a monthly or weekly newsletter. So it could be book a call, book your thinking about you here, Stephen, with the VR, with your stores. It could be, book 25% off today, up until, I don't know, New Year, booking 25% off for January or whatever. But again, it's something that goes out regularly, or in some cases for some people irregularly. But again, that can be monthly, fortnightly, or weekly. Alternatively, you could also, or I say alternatively, sorry, I don't know why I've said that. It could be also via automated steps. So if you've ever bought clothes online, for example, you bought clothes online, what you'll normally have a pop-up message which will say, subscribe now for 25% off. So when you normally do that, you type in, you type in your email address, you'll then get an email through within kind of 30 seconds that says, first time customer, use code whatever 25, and you get 25% off that order. That would be an automated step. Usually, if you haven't made that purchase after you've subscribed, you'll normally be put into effectively a process where you might receive another email in 3 days' time or a week's time. What they're trying to do is they're trying to encourage you to make that first purchase. But again, these are automated steps. Same goes within, and I'm probably over-explaining it at this stage, but the same goes if you send your monthly newsletter and you click on a link, a specific link. within some email software, which we will touch upon later as well, it may give you the option to target those people. So if you had service one, and I'll use you here actually, Rita, if that's okay. If you had, an art and wine club for first week of January, second week of January, third week of January, fourth week of January, if somebody clicked on the third week of January, you can actually set up an automation so that person receives another email through. If they don't book, they receive another email through in another week saying, hey, this third week of January is going to be great. This is what we're going to do. And what you're doing is you're effectively, you're automating it, but you're also personalizing that email marketing campaign to that person, because hopefully they've shown they've shown an interest in that third week of January Art and Wine Club. And obviously, again, just as an example. But that is what email marketing is, and I've kind of given a lot away there straight away. So the advantages of email marketing, first of all, it's direct communication. Of course, it's direct communication, whether that's whether you're a B2B business or whether you're a B2C business. So whether you are targeting other business owners or whether you are targeting members of the public, this direct communication, you are sending them an email that goes directly through to their email address, whether it is their personal or their business. So you're not relying, whereas with social media advertising, for example, and I know you both have got an interest in social media advertising. If I don't know if anybody else has joined, but Stephen and Rita, I know you both got an interest in that. The beauty of email marketing as opposed to, and the advantage of email marketing as opposed to social media advertising, for example, is that you are directly sending that person a proposition or an offer into their email, into their actual email, into their inbox. With social media advertising, we're still hoping to lure that person to give us their details. So although it's outbound marketing, you are also effectively creating inbound marketing as well, because you are popping it straight into their inbox and hopefully they're coming directly back to you with taking that offer. So that's the first advantage. Next advantage is it is cost effective. Unlike SMS or text messaging, you don't get charged per email that you send out. You certainly shouldn't be if you're using the right software. It can be cost effective. You can send emails weekly, fortnightly, monthly. If you have it set up as automation, you could be sending them an email every couple of days. Probably would advise against that. You don't want to get make them sick of your brand. But again, it can be very, very cost effective, especially if you're paying. In some cases, you can be paying £30 a month for email marketing software, and it depends obviously on how many subscribers you have. But if you're paying £30 a month and your product is your average, I don't know, your average sale is £100, then you can be making 3x what you're spending just on the email marketing straight away. So again, it is very, very cost effective. Target messaging. So again, this ties into both the automation, but also your regular emails going out. What you can also do, and I should mention this point as well, is if you have a large database, let's say you have 1,000 subscribers attached to your business, if you're able to segment that audience as well, and you're able to say, okay, these are, I'm going to use you again here, Stephen, I hope that's okay. But let's say, for example, you've got young adults, say, I don't know, 13 to 21, and then you've got 21 to 30, and then you've got 30 to 50. Let's just say those three age groups. You can actually segment that audience, and you can send an email to the younger audience, because the messaging is going to be different. The middle audience there, the 21 to 30, I think I said 21 to 30, different message again, and then 30 plus, a different audience again. So you could be looking at the nostalgia, and you can also be looking at, hey, this is the games that your dad used to play. And again, obviously, effectively you can change that messaging within each of those people as well. Obviously, you need the ages of those people. You need to have collected that data as well. But again, you can effectively change it as when you like. Lead nurturing. So going back to what I mentioned a moment ago, you can email people every day if you wanted to. Would highly advise against it. However, if you wanted to, you could. But what lead nurturing effectively means is that you can really build up a brand presence by being in people's inboxes with valuable, I would say, with valuable content, and with stuff that people were wanting to understand, wanting to learn about, and again, really kind of building that trust with your subscriber, with your database, it's that old thing of, know, like, and trust. If businesses know you, if they like you, they trust you, then there's going to be more chance of them buying from you. So as opposed to sending out one email every 3 months or one email every 4 months or whenever you remember, instead of that, if you have a system set up, so you email these people and you email your database regularly, then obviously the benefits of that are going to massively outweigh the negatives. So again, it's about emailing people regularly and consistently, but without, kind of bashing them with rubbish. So that's lead nurturing. And then driving traffic directly. So again, the beauty of email marketing is that you can put a link to specific pages on your website, or if you use Stripe, which I believe you both do, if you use Stripe to actually take those payments as well, or Klarna, whatever it is that you use to take payments. If you've got an offer and you want to send people directly to your website to that payment link, then again, it's it's a very effective way of doing that. So yeah, driving traffic directly as well is a huge benefit, a huge advantage. Now, the disadvantage of email marketing. So first of all, you've got GDPR regulations. So something that I mentioned earlier, and I'm not poo-pooing GDPR regulations because they were brought in for a very good reason. They were brought in effectively to protect people's data. So protect my data, protect your data, and protect everybody else on the internet's data, certainly within the UK and within Europe. But the GDPR regulations, when they first came out, there was a lot of hoo-ha. There was a lot of people, for want of a better word, scaremongering. Oh, you can't do that because of GDPR. Legitimate interest. So as I mentioned previously, if you believe there is legitimate interest in the services and the products that you offer, you are allowed to email people. It's as simple as that. You're allowed to email. So we're a B2B business. I'm allowed to email people that I believe have a legitimate interest in what I offer, what we offer. So as a marketing agency, we work with other business owners. Now, if little Sally is 16 years old, has an email address, and hasn't signed up for any of what we do, but doesn't own her own business, I don't have legitimate interest in emailing little Sally. So again, bear this in mind. Wherever you're sourcing your data from, whether you're doing opt-in, like an opt-in strategy, or if you're purchasing data, and again, if you're purchasing data, obviously make sure that it comes from a verified source, someone that is actually provides decent data that is kind of what it says on the tin, so to speak, then you'll be fine. But just bear GDPR regulations in mind, and make sure that the people you're emailing need and will want your email. I hope that makes sense. Reported for spam. So this is a big thing at the moment. MailChimp have their figures have taken a bit of a dip. MailChimp being a email software provider, being reported for spam too much on your email addresses. So effectively, would use the server. I'm going to touch upon this in a little bit more detail a little bit later, but effectively, if you're sending out lots of emails to people who aren't expecting it, but more importantly, you're not providing value, there's no context for why you're emailing these people, you're just spamming them, I guess is probably the right way of putting it. You are just spamming them, then there is a very high likelihood that your email address and your domain, more importantly, your domain will be reported. It will then be flagged, and effectively you will struggle to get your emails landing in the right people's inboxes. A big thing that I've seen happen previously are business owners and salespeople that BCC, so they blank carbon copy a bunch of businesses into their emails. So what they would do, as an example, and I'd highly recommend not doing this, because this is the way you get yourself blocked, and this is how you get your domain seriously damaged in terms of the authority on it and the trust levels, if you will. Is they would go, right, okay, I'm going to send this email. So Gavin@kernowmedia.co.uk. I would send an email to info@kernowmedia.co.uk, but I would blank carbon copy 100 or 200 or 500 other businesses in. So the email goes from Gavin@kernowmedia.co.uk through to info@kernowmedia.co.uk, but it's blank carbon copied all of these other emails in. So all these people receive it, but they don't see that they receive it. They just see it going to info@kernowmedia.co.uk. This does a few things. Number one, it destroys the trust element between that company and your brand. Big one. But also, again, the servers that are hosting your domain, once a bunch of spam alerts come through, so people just put your email straight into the spam folder, they report it for spam through Google or wherever, then again, that's seriously going to affect your domain, and it's going to affect the deliverability of any of your emails in the future as well. So highly recommend not doing that, but I have seen it done a lot. Talk about this already, but deliverability issues. So again, it might be that company A that you really want to get into, they don't receive emails from any businesses outside of the network. So they may have effectively spam filters on their website, on their domain, so they can't receive emails from anyone that's an unrecognized source, if you will. So it's really important, going back to the report for spam, that you don't do anything that flags your domain. But again, the same goes with deliverability issues. So again, one of the disadvantages is that you could send an email out to 1,000 email addresses, but you maybe get through to 10%. List decay. So again, list decay. So you have, let's say you have 1,000 email addresses, and this list is 10 years old. And it's all companies that have multiple employees. The possibility, the likelihood is that from those 1,000 emails, maybe 50% of those people have moved on to other jobs, or perhaps 50%, so a small percentage of that 50%, maybe the business is no longer running, no longer active. Perhaps they've changed their domain. They've had a rebrand, so they're actually using a different. They're using a different domain now. Could be a bunch of different things, but again, this is where it's really important to ensure that you are and again, the only way really around this is by making sure you're keeping up to date with the people that are in your list, making sure that if they are changing, if you are delivering high quality content through to their email addresses, that they want to continue to receive that if there is a change or whatever. So that's really important as well. And then obviously the other one as well is the dependency on email service providers as well. So dependency on email service providers, what we mean by that is, and I'm going to touch upon this in a moment, you have different software providers out there which will allow you and help you to create mass emails that can go out to a number of different people. It's as simple as that. So but the dependency on them is so the first one we're going to talk about at the moment is MailChimp. There's a company called MailChimp. They've been around for a long time, and my own experience on them is that their deliverability has actually dipped a little bit, but that's because they haven't been doing the checks on their side to make sure that companies don't come in and get lots and lots of reports for spam. Simple as that. But effectively, you are depending on that email service provider to have a good reputation, because that is where your emails go through. So you send your emails effectively through that email service provider, and then they send it out to everybody. But it comes from your email address. I hope I haven't confused that too much, but that's effectively what you're looking to do. Dependency on your email service providers is obviously something very important, because without them having a good reputation, your emails just aren't going to get delivered. It's as simple as that. So, as I said, email marketing software. So the big one, and a lot of people have heard of them, is MailChimp. MailChimp have been around for a long time. Again, my experience and my understanding of MailChimp is that because they've been around for so long, they've had a lot of people kind of slip through the net in terms of getting reported, getting stuff pushed through to the spam folder. This has a negative effect on everybody else that uses that software, because it means that their deliverability will reduce, albeit slightly, but still it will reduce. You also have MailerLite. MailerLite is something that we've used up until recently. It's a very, very good piece of software. It's just limited in terms of, because obviously we're an agency and we do email marketing for a lot of different clients. The only issue that we have with it is that it's just not really agency specific. Hence, we have now moved to a new provider, which is Constant Contact. This is who we're now using. Constant Contact again is, I see a couple of thumbs coming up there. Constant Contact is again effective. It's just more it's more beneficial for an agency like us, because we have lots and lots of different accounts that we use. Constant Contact is just easier for us just to be able to switch between different accounts, be able to pull reports, etc., etc. But each of these, again, they have their own price points. I won't go into the price points. I won't go into the effectiveness of them, because you may look at MailerLite, or sorry, the user effectiveness, usability, sorry, of them, because you may look at MailerLite and you may go, do you know what? It's very simple, very simplistic. That may work for you. MailChimp may work for you. Constant Contact may work for you. Or you may have HubSpot. You may be using a free CRM. CRM is something we're going to touch upon in the future as well. But HubSpot is a CRM, a customer relationship management tool. And as part of HubSpot's customer relationship management tool, as a lot of CRMs do, just to be clear, they actually have email marketing software within them as well. And then you've got something called Drip as well, which is more aimed at e-commerce stores. So if you're selling kind of a high quantity of items, it's kind of one of the favorites out there really for e-commerce stores as well. So, but those are the different types of email marketing software that you may see out there. So things that you should consider. So first one is opt-in strategies. So an opt-in strategy would be, as a very basic example, I mentioned it before, when you go to a website, normally after about 6 or 7 seconds, you'll have a pop-up come up on the website. And normally this will say something. If you're in an e-commerce store, for example, it will normally come up and say, get 10% off your first order, or get 25% off your first order, or get a free gift with your first order. This is an opt-in strategy. They want you to leave your email address. The reason they want you to leave your email address is because they want to be able to remarket and resell to you again in the future. Obviously, with them taking that 10% or that 25% off the first order, they're looking to recoup that. They're not doing it because they just want to get that first sale. Of course, they want to get that first sale, but what they're doing is they're looking at the long game. And what they really want to be able to do is they want to be able to remarket to you and sell to you lots and lots of times in the future without that 10 or 25% off. So the opt-in strategy could be that. It could also be, give us your email address and we'll enter you into a competition. It could be get this free downloadable asset, 10 ways to, whatever. But effectively, it's a way for them to provide value to you in order for you to provide your email address. So it's really, really important, and it's definitely something that every business should have. You should always have an opt-in strategy, even if it's something that's just as simple as, leave your email address to keep up to date with with any future updates or future sales or whatever. So that's your opt-in strategies. Who you're emailing and why. So again, this comes back to what we mentioned before in part. If you are emailing, if you segmented your audience, let's say, for example, you've got both I don't know. I'm trying to think of the best way. Okay, so Rita, I can actually use you for this. This is a good example. So Rita, let's say for example you have an art and wine club that's in Penzance. Let's just throw it out there. You've got an art and wine club that's in Penzance, and then you also have an art and wine club that's in Plymouth. Now, other than the people that kind of right in the middle on that kind of line in between Penzance and Plymouth, other than those people, you probably don't want to be marketing the Penzance Art and Wine Club to the people in Plymouth, and you probably don't want to be marketing the Penzance Art and Wine Club to the people in Plymouth. So think about who you're emailing and why you're emailing them. Think about when you're actually collating and collecting the data, that you're collecting the right data as well. If what you offer, and again, sorry, the same goes for you as well, Stephen, obviously with your VR centres, you probably don't want to be, you've got Taunton and you've got Truro, you don't really want to be marketing to the people in Taunton for the Truro, for something that's happening at Truro, and vice versa. Think about who you're emailing and why you're emailing them. And something I haven't put in there as well, make sure you always have a call to action, or a CTA, as it says at the bottom there. I have written at the bottom there. But yeah, think about who you're emailing and why. And then A/B testing. So A/B testing, or split testing as it's also known, and I talk about this a lot because it's really, really important in any form of marketing that you do, to make sure that you are testing. Subject lines, content, and CTA. CTA is a call to action. So it might be buy now, book now, order now, learn more, could be on Facebook advertising, but effectively it's what you want that person to do in an ideal world, what you want them to do after they've read that email. So for you, for both of you that are here today, it could be book today, book now, book your place. Don't miss out. That call to action needs to be something that's great. But with the A/B testing and the split testing, you're never going to get, I'm going to say never, you mostly won't get it right the first time. So what you really want to be doing is you want to be testing different subject lines, different content, and different calls to action. Now, order now and book now both sound very, very similar. And I think for both your businesses, actually, it probably could fit with both of them. But it might be that your audience respond better to book now as opposed to order now. So it's worth testing and just seeing what works and seeing what does not work. So the steps to email marketing are very, very simple. First things first, you need to build a list. So building a list is great. Building a list is absolutely perfect. And again, it takes time to build a list as well. Something I would say, you'd be very, very lucky. You'd be very, very fortunate, I suppose, would be a better word to say, if you were to go out on your, let's just say, Facebook page and say, hey, we want as many email addresses as possible because we want to build you into an email marketing list, and then for 4,000 people just to leave their details and get signed up. That would be amazing. In an ideal world, that would happen. However, it doesn't. It takes time to build a list, and it takes perseverance, and it takes a strategy as well. So think of the different ways and think of the different products and services that you could offer that are going to have ideally zero cost to you, but also aren't going to take you a huge amount of time to do, but also you can mass produce it. So it could be, Stephen, I know you're doing the coding club at the moment. It could be perhaps doing something around the coding club and saying, look, we've got this online, again, I'm just throwing it out there. We've got this free 30-minute coding thing that you do. And if you do it, we'll send you for a certificate. So what you're doing there is you're encouraging people to give you their email address so you can send across this coding test, or this little coding practice piece for them to give you the email. For if they then complete it, you will then send them through a little certificate so they can hang it on their fridge or whatever. What you're doing there is you're building trust. You're building a relationship straight away as well. You're getting their email address. you're understanding if they complete that. So if their child or you know, they complete that, and then they send it back to you, you know that there's real legitimate interest in what you're offering. So you're almost, just from that one example, you're building 3 lists in a way. Well, I'll tell you, you're building 2 lists. You're building a list of people that have a legitimate interest in what it is. So they'll leave you their email address, and then you'll send them through your you know, the coding club template or whatever it is, you know, something that people can just do to, you know, create a very simple program. So that's list 1. And then list 2 are the people that actually complete it and send it back. So the messaging there to each of those audiences is going to be different. It's going to be, hey, look, you requested this, you didn't quite do it. Do you need a bit more help? You know, would you like to come to one of our starter sessions, one of our learner sessions? And, you know, did you not understand it? Like, there's loads of different questions you can ask there, and you can build a really good email marketing list there. And then you've also got the other people that have requested it, have completed it, and have sent it back, and you've now sent them like a little certificate. So those people, they're hot prospects. These prospects here are probably quite cold. These ones here are hot prospects because they've requested it, they've done it, they've received it. Oh my goodness, like, this is amazing. Like, this is a really, really good list. But again, the messaging, the marketing to each of these lists is going to be completely different. I really went to work on that one, but I hope that kind of makes a bit of sense, and I hope that is helpful. But building a list is really, really important, and it's really important as well. The point I was making there is really, really important as well to make sure that it's a good list. That's what you're looking for. You're not just looking for a list of, you know, just the most, you know, random bloody email addresses that are out there, and the most random people that are out there. You are looking for the right people. It's better to have 100 engaged people than 1,000 disengaged. I'll go further than that. I'd say it's better to have 100 engaged people than 10,000 unengaged. It really, really is. It's about quality, not quantity, when it comes to building that list and to having that list. Next is create great content. So again, and I'm going to use you actually, Rita, if that's okay. Looking at art and wine, the 2 big things there that you have, art and wine, closely connected, absolutely. You could do great content that isn't even about what you offer. What you offer could be the byproduct of the content that you create. So you can talk about the best wines, what great wines are out there at the moment, reds, whites, rosés, sparkling, etc., etc. And you could create content around, okay, you know, Christmas is coming up, Christmas dinner. What's the normal choices? Normally people will have, you know, a bit of sparkling wine, but actually, and I'm just thinking about Christmas here in general, but actually, do you know what for the palate, if you're having turkey this year, this is the best thing for your palate. This is what you want to be. And again, it's probably a really bad example, but providing content and providing a background, if you will, on what your audience can be interested in, because your audience, your ideal audience, are going to be interested in art and wine. They want to hear about art. They want to hear about wine. So as much as you could do content about, hey, this is what we did in our previous session, that stuff's great as well, because then you're showing, look, this, you know, people have a great time when they come to our art and wine sessions. You know, they enjoy it. This is the wine we drink. This is the art we've created. This is one of our experts that we have. This is this is that. There is other content around it as well that's not directly linked to what you do that could draw people in. Nobody wants to be sold to all day, every day. And by the way, I'm not in one moment saying that this is something that you would do, but again, it's just important for me to mention that your content could be about a great Cornish or Southwest artist. We've got this great Southwest artist. It could be a profile around that person. It could be a profile around a vineyard. I'll be honest, I know that they have got a couple of vineyards in Cornwall and the Southwest, but I don't know any of them. But it could be that, you know, you highlight this local vineyard, and you say, you know, we've got the next session, we've got a bottle of this, and this is really, really nice. It's made here, it's done this, and just build like a bit of a profile, build a bit of content around that. If people don't know about again, I'm not really a big wine drinker, if I'm honest. If people don't know, if people don't know that there is a vineyard, Newquay Orchard, I don't know if they do wine, but if people don't know about like local vineyards, I would say that's your obligation to educate them, and that's where the great content comes in. The beauty of it as well is that if you build an affiliate scheme with that vineyard as well, you can actually get paid from anyone that buys through your email marketing campaign. We can talk about that in more detail, but I'm kind of muddying the water here a little bit. Create great content, and great content doesn't mean just talking about your business. It means educating, enlightening, getting people excited. Oh, play out, this company's emailed me again. I want to learn a little bit more about what's going on here. So that's what I would say there as well. Build a list. Sorry, email your list. Email your list. Of course, this is obviously where the value comes in. So building the list, you've created that great content. Now you need to email your list. You need to email these people. You need to make sure, check your deliverability. Now, different agency owners and different experts will give you different numbers on this. For myself, we look at 35% open rate as being okay. You're sending out 1,000 emails, 350 of those get opened. That's an okay open rate. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad email marketing campaigns out there, and it puts people off wanting to open them. And sometimes people will open them and they don't. They look, they go, nah, not for me, and they'll just close it, and then they'll never open it again. And unfortunately, one bad email marketing campaign will resonate with a client in the future. So it's just worth being careful when you're emailing people for exactly that reason. So emailing your list, then measuring the results. So as I said there before, look at the results you get. So if you send out an email, if you decide yourself, do you know what, for 2024, I'm going to send out 12 emails. They're going to be generic. They're going to go to my entire database. That's what I'm going to do. Make sure you're measuring the results month to month. And then for 2025, I don't know, I'm really looking to the future here, but for 2025, measure the results against what you got for 2024. Measure the results for month to month, but also you can measure them for 2024 into 2025. But measure the results. Just if there's something that you email, once you email it out and you look at it, if there's something within that email that makes you go, oof, I don't like that, take it out for next month. Just make sure you don't make those same mistakes, which leads us on to my next point. Make adjustments and email consistently. So when I say make adjustments, I mean make adjustments month by month by month by month, and also year by year by year by year. But make those adjustments. Again, if you want to have a very professional, to the point email, then all of the rest of your branding, by the way, needs to be the same. So your social media marketing needs to be the same. Any advertising needs to be the same. If you want to be fun, if you want to be a little bit loose with Kernow Media, if you've received emails from us, then you'll know that we make a bit of fun, really. We have a bit of a laugh with it. We don't want to be known as like a stuffy marketing agency. We want to be known as having a bit of fun. We do memes on social media. We put memes out in some of our email marketing campaigns as well. But again, if people aren't responding in a positive way to that, and if your target audience aren't responding in a positive way, then you do need to make those adjustments. You do need to make sure that you are speaking to the right audience in the right tone at the right time. And then also, as I say there, be consistent with it. There's no point. One of my biggest hangups that I have with any form of marketing is when somebody goes, yeah, we tried that, it didn't work. And it'll be like, okay, well, you tried it. How many times did you try it? Well, we only tried it once. Well, you haven't really tried it then, because with any form of marketing, you need to be consistent. You need to ensure that you are sending the right message at the right time, ideally at about the same time. So whether it's weekly, fortnightly, monthly. Use this, for example, use the Kernow Club. So our training here every Monday 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. we record it, and then we upload it to YouTube. We're consistent, and it's important to make sure that consistency, that that you obviously will have within your business because you've got a successful business, it's important to make sure that that consistency goes out across your whole business. So the summary of this is email marketing is a direct, cost-effective strategy for sending targeted messages to a group via email. It does involve building lists, creating engaging content, and using segmentation for personalized messaging. Automation enhances efficiency, providing measurable results and contributing to brand awareness, engagement, and lead nurturing. I could share this story with you. I won't share the name of the client, but we started working with a client about 2.5 years ago, and the client was a little bit upset, a little bit stressed. The reason this client was a bit upset and a bit stressed because they didn't have any bookings for what they did for the following month. So start from the top. Okay, lovely. You know, how many customers do you work with kind of, regularly or irregularly? Oh, there's, so and so. How much data do you have? Oh, we've got about 7,000 pieces of data. Okay. When was the last time you emailed this database? Oh, we haven't. So, okay, how long have you been running? This client had been running for more than, I won't give you the exact amount of time. This client had been running for more than 5 years. They had never emailed their database. Not once had their potential clients and clients ever received an email apart from one-to-one emails. They never received anything in the form of an email marketing campaign. We put together, within about 25 minutes, we put together an email, we sent it out. That client had 2 sales come in within 15 minutes, 2 bookings come in within 15 minutes. It's a very, very effective way of utilizing your data, utilizing the people that have shown an interest, people you've worked with. And in some ways, I'll turn it around, you're doing those people a disservice by not keeping in touch with them. That's what I would say to you. You're doing them a disservice. So it is really, really important to make sure that you are creating content regularly. Email marketing, it works, but it works when you're being consistent and when you're being engaging, and also when you are providing value. So that is email marketing. I hope that has been helpful for you. You can join the Kernow Club for £50 plus VAT per month. Again, this will give you access to our library of, thank you very much for the thumbs up. This will give you access to our library that we are consistently adding to and building on. It'll also give you access to these weekly training sessions. We are going to end the recording at the moment, but I'm going to be here for a little while longer. We're going to talk about how we can actually implement these things with the people that are in the room. But again, if you want to join the Kernow Club, please feel free to email me, gavin@kernowmedia.co.uk, or info@kernowmedia.co.uk will be in the description. But thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.